them out for the Shoemaker Mile. Scratch number 7, Majestic Eagle. 6 minutes to post.
Take care of it. Just have to get back. I'm trying to get in the rhythm or something. Alright. Oh, that's right. Yeah, what the hell did I do with that?
Ladies and gentlemen, Santa Anita Park is proud to present the field for the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. Number 1, Without Parole, kicks off the post parade. Owned by Eurowest Bloodstock Services and Gunther, trained by Chad Brown and ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr. 2, True Valor is owned by Cutta Racing Limited, trained by Simon Callahan with Jose Valdivia Jr. 3, Next Share is owned by Ivorone, McClanahan, Peskov et al., trained by Richard Baltus, ridden by John Velasquez. Number 4 is Voodoo Song, owned by Barry Schwartz, trained by Richard Mandela with Mike Smith. 5, War of Will is owned by Gary Barber, trained by Mark Cassie, Flavien Pratt aboard. 6, Blitzkrieg, owned by R3 Racing and Calera Farms, trained by Doug O'Neill with Drayden Van Dyke. Number 8 is Raging Bull, owned by Peter Brandt, trained by Chad Brown and ridden by Joel Rosario. 9, March to the Arch is owned by Live Oak Plantation, trained by Mark Cassie with Victor Espinoza. 10, Neptune Storm, owned by CYBT, Geverts, Skitomer et al., Richard Baltus, the conditioner, Umberto Rispoli, the jock. And 11, River Boyne, owned by Red Baron's Barn and Rancho Temescal, trained by Jeff Mullins. The jockey is Abel Cedillo. That's the field for the Shoemaker Mile.
I said 11 on 64. That's what I would play.
My racehorse best turned out runner is number 5, War of Will. The Shoemaker Mile is part of the Win and You're In Breeders' Cup Mile Division.
Yeah, this year, really? Ain't even been running.
2 minutes to post, race number 9, the first of our Grade 1 action, the Shoemaker Mile. We were just watching fan favorite out here in Southern California, River Boyne, taking a little jog, getting ready for trainer Jeff Mullins.
Yeah, he looked so good in the paddock. He looks really great warming up. I'm so happy he found some renewed interest in the racing. There's a good look, too, at the one Without Parole, who had a couple of issues here when getting legged up, but it appears everything is okay. He did go out by himself, and he's been warming up solo, and he looks very composed now.
Along those lines, you were discussing the 5 War of Will, the Preakness winner, defending champ as it were, looked very, very relaxed, which sometimes he can get a little hot.
Yeah, he is one that tends to be a little on the lathery side. Even when he was out at Santa Anita for Breeders' Cup last year, even in the mornings, you could see him getting a little bit warm. So he was extremely composed today, especially considering how warm it is at Santa Anita. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'll ask me again in like 4 minutes, Pete.
Horse is getting close to the gate. A couple of longer shots we haven't talked about. Blitzkrieg, interesting horse, a winner of race at Santa Anita and Golden Gate back in 2019, including the San Francisco Mile back in April 27th of 2019. Went to Dubai, a second and a third, but did not look as good in the Group 3. Burj Nahar, I hope I got that one right, on March 27th. Coming back now, Drayden Van Dyke gets the call. Do you like from at least an exotic standpoint?
Maybe from an exotic standpoint, he was a really good hill horse. And, when we lost the hill here at Santa Anita, he did stretch out successfully to win a graded stake on the flat mile, but it was up at Golden Gate, and I don't think that it was necessarily the same competition you'll see here, even though he technically beat River Boyne at that point. The River Boyne that we're seeing now is a different animal than the one that we were seeing at spring of last year. So is he without a chance? Nope, not at all. And we have already seen that the horses that Doug sent over to Dubai have come back to run extremely well. Wildman Jack won yesterday. Taurus A ran excellently today. So that form is really doing good for Doug. And I think part of it's because the horses went over there and they wintered. They spent an extended amount of time. It wasn't like they shipped there, they ran, they shipped right back.
Horse is getting close to the gate. The 2-1 favorite from the rail. The 5-year-old son of Frankel, Without Parole. Horse is getting ready for the running of the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. Good luck.
Field stepping onto the turf course, approaching the gate for the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. And they're off in the Shoemaker Mile. War of Will broke a bit inward, and Next Shares took up. A scramble for the early lead. Neptune Storm and Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg now takes a narrow advantage, and Voodoo Song is down on the inside. War of Will is fourth. River Boyne fifth in the early going, 3 lengths off the speed. It's another 2.5 back to Without Parole, who settles in mid-pack just in front of March to the Arch. Behind them, Raging Bull, True Valor is second to last, and Next Shares is the distant trailer. Onto the backstretch, and it's Voodoo Song getting to the front and opening up nearly a length. Neptune Storm is in second, War of Will in the pink silks tugging in third. He's followed by Blitzkrieg, who's racing in between horses. River Boyne is outside of him past a half mile in the Shoemaker Mile. Without Parole, still just behind this group, has 4 lengths to make up. March to the Arch is outside of him, 3 in front of Raging Bull. Then comes True Valor and still a distance to Next Shares. They're approaching the quarter pole. Neptune Storm takes over from Voodoo Song, River Boyne, War of Will, Raging Bull circling up in the green on the far outside. Without Parole is waiting for some racing room. They're at the top of the stretch. Here comes Raging Bull, bearing down in the center of the course, and he's up to battle for the lead with River Boyne. War of Will comes through. Behind them, Without Parole, nowhere to go, and Raging Bull is in complete command, and he will stroll in the Shoemaker Mile. Wrapped up by Joel Rosario. Next Shares ran an amazing race, and Without Parole got out late to get the show dough. Behind them, it was a battle for the minors between River Boyne and War of Will. Raging Bull was first. 3 Next Shares finished second. It's a photo for third. The running time, 1 minute 32.73 seconds.